Hello, everyone, and welcome to Access Granted Small Business Resource Webinar. I am Dr. Portia Jackson, Small Business Development Manager for the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity. We have an amazing webinar series for you today. We are talking about small business collaborations, and we have a great panel. And so before I introduce our panel, I just want to go over some housekeeping notes. And that is one, please make sure that you stay on mute unless you are being asked a question. Our panelists, of course, will be unmuted, but we will have a Q&A session towards the end, and you are welcome then to unmute yourself and ask a question to any of our panel, as well as if you have questions as we are going through the discussion, please make sure you include that in the chat feature. Also, to note that this is our 6th episode in Access Granted. You can find our previous 5 in our YouTube channel, which is at HoustonTXOBO, as well as our website, houstontx.gov/OBO. You'll see there a red bar will appear, and that is our COVID-19 information hub. So any questions you have about resources during this time, please access that through our website. So without further ado, I am going to introduce our panel, and as I introduce them, just familiarize yourself with them, and then we'll go into the discussion for today, which is small business collaboration. So our first guest that we have is Kyra Hardwick. She is an effective communicator and has a knack for developing cohesive and productive teams. She's experienced in development of both process and policy, as well as she's very skilled in strategic methodology and establishing buy-in as needed. She's very transparent, and she understands the necessity to cultivate alliances and resources internally and externally to lend itself to the development of loyal and committed partnerships. Thank you, Kyra, and we'll get to the next person. Julia Hogan McNeil. She is the owner of Juju Products. She's also a motivational speaker who enjoys sharing her personal testimony to help others who are dealing with health challenges. She has been recognized for her business and community contributions and has been featured on numerous local television programs, talk shows, and newspapers. She also has Julia Cook's organic food truck, and she has received several awards and is coming out with a recipe book, Community Garden Tower's juicing book for healing with biblical scriptures, and I can testify her food is very good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Our next panelist is Rebecca Karp. She launched Karp Strategies in 2015, and since then, she has taken it to the next level. It has now become a leading woman-owned urban planning and real estate advisory in New York City. Yes, she is joining us all the way from New York City. She's passionate about urban development and is dedicated to helping communities build a strong local economy. She is also the recent recipient of Globe Street's Real Estate Forum's Woman of Influence 2020 and Crane's New York Business's 2020 Rising Star in Real Estate. So welcome, Rebecca. Next, we have Lael McKelvey. Lael, you've probably seen her at various things in Houston. She is the Director of Community Relations and Inclusion for Manhattan Construction Company. She also serves as a faculty consultant for the Houston Galveston Women's Business Center. She is an advocate for businesses owned by minorities, women, veterans, persons with disabilities, and the LGBTQ community. She has been recognized by Houston Business Journal, People on the Move, Top 50 Woman by Houston Magazine, and a bunch of other awards. And yes, she has also been recognized as Advocate of the Year. And our final panelist is Tiffany Townsend. She has over 20 years of experience in the mailing industry and is the owner of Safe Ship Sugarland. Tiffany has a personal statement that I love, and she says, "My calling and purpose has led me to a place of activating the inner me. Assisting businesses during this time is just a part of my DNA. I get more joy than my customers. So welcome everyone. Thank you to our panelists for showing up and being here for this great discussion on small business collaboration. So I'm just gonna just throw out the questions. And I see that most of you are on mute, so my panelists only, please unmute yourself so we can make sure that we hear everything that you say. So let's just start from the ground up. When we say small business collaborations, what does a small business collaboration look like? Who wants to answer that?
Jumping in, right?
All right, jump in.
Because I'll get us started. So, that is like the heartbeat of what we do. I'm Kyra Hardwick, everyone. I'm so glad I'm here. So thank you for your time today. One of the things that we did inside of the Kyra company was look for that answer, Dr. Portia. And the way that we found that answer was to develop the Smart CEO community. That was the first thing we thought to do, to bring everyone together. What do you need most when you're starting, when you're growing? You need answers, and you need a team, you need some accountability, and you need some support to know that you're not by yourself. And so one of the things that we did was launched a private group on social media. But not only that, we pre-COVID had monthly engagements where business owners could come together and learn together. And so in that space, man, every month we did breakfast with the Smart CEOs, and they could come together, learn, develop, and identify who their next client is, who their next accountability partner is, who their next accountant is, people that could really sow into their business. And really, and from that, I'm excited to say, now bringing that back to a virtual platform so we don't have to go without that collaboration anymore. But it's grassroots or bust in my world, and I think that's where you really get the greatest level of value when you start building relationships. And small businesses, they need that connectivity and they need that reliance on one another. So that's our answer. It's the Smart CEO community.
Rebecca, how would you answer that question? Because we know you have experience in that area as well as everyone on this panelist, but you might have a different perspective from you because you're not in our southern region. So tell us about small business collaboration from your perspective.
Sure. And, I got to first of all say thank you for having me. I feel like I'm the invited guest from New York City. So it's such a pleasure to be here with you all. And I think, honestly, the challenges that as a small, WBE business owner in New York City that we face, I think it's the same issues. A small business owner, no matter where you go, you face the same challenges. So I think anything that we can be doing to share information and learn from and support each other, like all we can do is share information and learn and support each other. I'm a big believer in the shine theory, and I feel like whatever I can do to support someone else, and that reflects on you is only going to bounce back around whatever we can do to support each other. So it's interesting. I think collaboration, is the most effective way that you can support and grow your business. And I think something that I've seen is like collaboration, especially within the MWBE space, I think can sometimes feel really tough, especially when you're looking at government, projects and government procurements. It can sometimes feel really risky because the space can be really competitive. And sometimes we've seen situations as an urban planning firm where we're looking at projects where we're subbing to engineering firms or construction companies. It feels like we're getting pitted against other MWBE firms that we want to be helping uplift, and we want them to be uplifting us. And so it's understandable, especially now in the COVID environment, it feels like the market is harder now more than ever. So I think for it to really happen and for us to really think about how we support each other, Carp Strategies has found a couple of very tactical tools that have really helped us. And so one method we found to be effective and that Carp Strategies uses frequently when we research and pursue opportunities with other partner firms is we actually put together teaming agreements and NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, that we immediately share with other firms, especially MBE partners, to say, hey, we have this possible project. Let's put this formal MOU together. I'll show you yours if you show me mine. Let's talk about this. We're not going to take your intellectual property. You're not going to take ours. We're not going to take your financial information. But let's really talk about this and explore it together in a way that feels legally safe to let us see if we can make the pie bigger and explore this together to really share in the spoils of a bigger project that we can pursue together. And so it, you know, that lets us, that kind of legal framework really lets us share resources to go after things and then be a constant referral source of information. Again, like you shine, we shine. And if the project isn't right for us, you go for it. If it's not right for you, we go for it. If we both go for it, we come up with a way to share the project. So I think having a go-to, I was just going to say, having a go-to template, I think will let you move really quickly. So I'm curious if that's been something any other panelists have used. We find it works for consulting. It might not be a fit for every industry, but
and Rebecca, you bring up a really good point, and that was going to be my next question: is what type of paperwork or what type of how do you formalize that agreement as far as collaborating? But before we move to that point, oh, okay. Before we move to that point, Julia and Tiffany, you all have actually collaborated together. So tell us about that collaboration, but before you, as you tell us about it, tell us about your businesses and then how that collaboration happened.
Okay, hi everyone. I am Julia Hogan McNeil, or Chef Juju, and I've been in the food and drink healthy organic business since 2013. I got started when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I lost my eyesight and my ability to move. And I was not insured with medical insurance, and I did not want to do any type of research program. So I came back home and I did an organic juice cleanse of 30 days, no food, just a juice cleanse that we created and did on our own. And since then, in 2014, I was cleared of multiple sclerosis. It was as if it never existed at all. I've never had it again ever in my life. It's not even in my body anymore. And I contribute that to juice drinks and the natural, of course, supernatural, my faith life. But that's how I got started with the healthy food and drink. And I said, what if I could help everyone, or just one person at a time, to live a healthier life with food and drink and eliminate a lot of medication, a lot of doctor visits, a lot of unnecessary health challenges, just with a simple routine of juice, drink, and healthy food. And so that's how we got started. And then we moved into food trucks and kiosks inside of convention centers and stadiums. And I would do TV segments, both local and national, and we were asked to ship our food and drink to different cities and states. I had no idea how to do that, how to package it, how to make sure that it arrived safely. So I said, how can we do this? And it's so funny because I met Tiffany back in 2014, 2015, when we got started with all of this. And at the time, Tiffany was, she was one of my clients. She got food and drink for herself, her husband, her sister, for everyone. And we kept in contact, but as time went on, we both grew and evolved to do different things. And then Tiffany is now the owner of a shipping company, Safe Ship. And I met Tiffany on another Zoom call, and I said, wait a minute, we know each other. And she said, yeah, I used to get your food and drink. And when she said, you know, I can ship that for you and take the work out of it by handling the fulfillment, how to package it, how to make sure it gets there on time, how to file insurance claims if it's not there, how to have the clients come. But it went a step further. Tiffany allowed us to expand our business in a whole different area in Sugar Land. And so now she said, I can also provide a merchandising spot for you. And this is part of our fulfillment. And so we have a merchandising counter there at Safe Ship in Sugar Land off of Highway 6 with the Juju products, where we have our salads in a jar and our juice drinks. And so that's like the best of both worlds. Here it is. We've been provided an opportunity to ship our items safely and with integrity, and also the opportunity to expand our business during COVID, where people can actually come to her place and pick up pre-orders. So I want to make sure that's clear, pre-orders, no cooking or anything going on there, but pre-orders where people pick up their juice and their drinks and their salads or food there in Sugar Land. And I'm very grateful and thankful for that opportunity.
Tiffany, chime in. So you talked, Julia talked about how you approached her and said, "Hey, I can make this easy for you." So when we talk about small business collaboration, what made you think about approaching her in that way? And what about collaborations? What benefits do you see as that happening with your business?
Well, first of all, like you mentioned earlier, I have 20 years in the mailing industry. Um, I am a former postmaster and a postal worker. So going into this business only makes sense for me. And so Julia, in a sense, had a problem and I had the solution. For me, the collaboration piece is a teamwork. It gives you the invitation to be part of someone else's team. Okay. And coming from, I'm going to say corporate America, it was all about teamwork. Every office that I was at, we were a team, we were one. And so me getting a chance now to actually collaborate with different businesses, I don't look at it so much as that, as just being a part of their team. Okay, so now we're a team, and guess what? The team as a unit wants to win. Okay, so I'm going to do everything that I can to make my clients and my team members win, and vice versa. Because if they're winning, then I'm going to win. And so I make sure that I can do everything that I need to do for them, whatever the problem is. For me, the solution is, just comes naturally. For them, they don't have knowledge of the shipping industry. I have for the last 20 plus years. This is what I've done. So that's, I call myself, and I am a subject matter expert. I am a mailing solution specialist, and I help business owners eliminate shipping mistakes early so they don't have to pay for them later. And so my little clause here is saying at Safe Ship is that I make ship happen.
I'm glad you make it happen. And so you also touched on the team factor, just like Rebecca did, and the whole team atmosphere, and that if we can work together, we both win. And that's something that I feel small businesses may not understand at first. Rebecca, you touched on some of the things I'm going to bring up, that people are sometimes apprehensive because of, what if you're going to steal my idea, and and what's going to happen here. But how do we make these collaborations come together to where the trust issue is eliminated, but how do we make that happen? And Leo, I want you also to chime in, because you bring a different aspect to the small business collaboration, because you work for Manhattan. And so as a prime contractor, you need subcontractors with these government contracts. So how does that collaboration happen on that side? But also everyone else, feel free to talk about how do you make that small business collaboration happen, and get over the barriers of mistrust and the legal forms of it.
Rebecca, you can go ahead and go first too. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, Leo, please.
For us, it's definitely a different perspective, but subcontractors are how we get the work done. So we need everybody, and we need you to be competent and be ready. And we do a lot of work on the front end to help make those transitions for people pretty easy. I also know for sure that packages are usually pretty big. And when you can collaborate or come together as a team without giving me a whole bunch of details, because sometimes that is not good, but you come together as a team and present to us, then that makes it easier for us to choose you instead of us having to break it apart piece by piece, which is more difficult on our side. And when we're trying to bid an entire package, then it's difficult for us to do these individual pieces. So that is one of the things that I love collaborations. I am nervous, so I'm interested to hear what Rebecca has to say about how to do it legally without having a lot of trouble.
Well, it's interesting. I think I can say something about legally, but I'm also so curious to hear from my fellow panelists about, I'd love to hear us talk a bit about trust in that collaboration, because I think for me, even with a legal framework and how we put a teaming agreement together, whatnot, for me, it comes back to to trust and like a very real and raw openness to say, here's my beating, bleeding heart on a platter, right? No one decides to be a small business owner because they want the easy path in life. I think we decide to do it because we have a burning passion and desire to change the world in our own way. And we do it because we love it, because we have a subject matter expertise in what we do, because we think we found a solution that's going to help someone change their life for the better. So we start our business, right? Whether it be juice and health and wellness, because it helped us with the disease, whether it be a better way to ship things, whether it be to create better teams and human resources, or for me, because I think there's a better way to do urban development that includes communities. That's why we do it. We don't do it because we think it's easy. We're the ones staying up, till 2 a.m. trying to figure out, are you going to be able to make payroll? Because pre-COVID, we might have been doing really well, and post-COVID, as MWE business owners, we're the ones that the stats say are going to be most likely to fail. So I think in that environment, what does it mean to have a really open and honest conversation with other business owners that says, wow, this is really hard. Am I going to have to lay people off? Am I looking at furloughing people? Did you get the PPP loan? This is really scary right now, and I'm looking at this project opportunity. Let's talk about collaboration and how we can make the pie bigger. Do I have the skills to do it? Do you have the skills to do it? How can we work together to collaborate? What does it feel like to have that raw, honest trust that you need as a business owner to, again, really bring someone behind the curtain to feel confident to have that conversation? And then how do we do that in collaboration to go to government, like Dr. Portia here, to say, hey, we want to talk about this project and those procurement goals. We want to really say we can do it, but maybe we're a little scared. We're not quite there yet. Help.
Rebecca, I want to jump in there with you because
Please.
I think you hit into a really cool space that we were in pre-COVID. Like it was like the challenge of 2019 for our firm, which was to start the collaboration process. So we're a business consulting team or firm, and the biggest thing we knew is that we had capacity to really focus heavy in operations. And I had a hard, long talk with myself saying, listen, business owner, you do great things, you do great work, but you do need to collaborate. And I knew that the only way I was going to maximize my certifications, my MBE status, and all of my woman-owned business status and all of that, to maximize it fully, to get the contracts that we wanted and to be even eligible for them, it was to increase capacity. And so my long, hard conversation was, listen, I want to meet and collaborate with consultants and specialists and SMEs at or better my skill set so that we can make it happen. And for me, that was scary because all of my IP I'm protecting that with all that I have. So my intellectual property that's the gold for us. And so it took one sit down, and I just kind of ripped the Band-Aid off with a colleague. We were having coffee, and I said, I'm swallowing and I'm sweating and I'm pretty cool and calm. So she probably didn't even know this was like a fear of mine to even open my mouth and say, listen, let's collaborate. She came to me with an opportunity, and I said, listen, let's collaborate. What kind of opportunities do you have that I can help you with? That was how I led the conversation. And then she said, oh, I got something coming up. Let's meet on Thursday about such and such. I'm like, whoa, wasn't that easy? And so she kicked it off, and then we just been playing volleyball. And I want to say this to all the business owners out there. That was at the very end, closed out of 2019. Since then, we have submitted, I think we're probably really close to, we're upwards of 2 million in potential RFPs together, because we put legal documents in place. We have alliance agreements on both sides. We have a funding and a compensation agreement on both sides. We go into per contract specific agreements based on what we're working on, whether it's a contract with a major, or it's something we're doing because we procured some business through a small business or mid-sized org, whatever it is. And we've been able to not only, and I feel like this is the goal. So my fear, her openness, she might have been afraid too. She might not have ever expected me to say it, right? We've not only gone into the business of working together, building capacity for each other when it comes to responding to bids and things like that. We've designed programs that we're marketing. We brought other people into the collaboration. We've since then organized a group of women that are working together to bring more collaboration and accountability to each other. I mean, this thing just keeps revolving and going deeper and deeper and deeper. So I'm going to say this: put your paperwork in place so that you guys can move quickly. She can move on my behalf. I can move on her behalf. I have her capability statement. I understand what her capacity is. And then that of the other 7 colleagues now that we collaborate with. And so it's just been this, so it's been this real beautiful flower, this garden of collaboration that has grown. So I will tell you, I was afraid. I was like, but are they gonna, and am I, I had all these ifs that were not even valid. And all we had to do was say yes. And I wanted to do business with people that understood the caliber and the quality of business I wanted to deliver to the market. And so now I can sell my business even stronger because we literally have 7x our capacity over the last, 9 months. And that right there is crazy.
So question, Lael, what would it look like if, like, the panelists, all the other panelists on this call, if we had a huddle in a breakout group and we were like, okay, here's our team, this is what we do. And we came up with a mini team and we had an agreement in place. And then we decided what we are going to collectively bring to you. And maybe Kyra is our spokesperson. And she comes back to you and she's like, you know what? This is what team Tiffany, Kyra, Rebecca, and Chef Juju can bring to the table. We're one team. This is what we can bring to you as a subcontracted team. We can cover every service area for you. We're going to submit one invoice that breaks down. This is how it's going to be. We know what your template is. All of our insurances, you'll have all of our COIs already in hand. We already have a legal agreement in place that says, this is how the work is going to be shared. If you need to add anyone else to the team, let us know. We'll take care of it. If we came to you with a package of the COIs, our quals, all of that, what would that look like to you on the Prime side to see us as a team, if there was that kind of situation?
So I love it. I'm always pro MWBE, so always. So I would absolutely love it. And it does give you a better shot, especially when you know what we're buying and you're not just taking a stab, in the dark. So I would absolutely go for that. I also know that on the tactical side, because I know you got to get there paperwork wise, but on the tactical side, the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council has a STAC, we got all these acronyms, the STAC committee. So a strategic teaming alliance committee. And what they do is help you figure out how to team together legally so that you don't get your business taken, because I've seen it happen where you somehow lose your 51% hold of your business and it goes away. So you do have to be very, very careful. And there is a consultant that they use, Randall Dobbins, if anybody is familiar with him, but he helps you put all of these things together so that you end up with a great level of success. So we would love it. So in one word, we love.
And
I'm here. Everything that you guys are saying, and Kyra, and you speaking of fears with business collaborations. Prior to COVID, I wasn't doing a lot of business collaborations. When COVID came, I pivoted and started doing product fulfillment for a lot of small businesses. So I didn't really get to go through the I'm fearful of this collaboration, because they needed it and I needed it both to survive. And so I really don't have that experience piece. Collaboration for me and this teamwork thing, it's just a gift that keeps on giving, because being connected with all of these different business owners, they tell other business owners, and then they tell other business owners. And so, like I said, it's just a gift that keeps on giving. And it's just the best thing ever for me that's happened, and that COVID has birthed, really, as far as my business goes, is just collaborating with other business owners, and that B2B connection, and everybody coming together as a team and making sure that each other is in a position to win. So I'm listening to you guys and I'm like, wow, I guess if I had a choice, but when COVID happened, I didn't have a choice. Either I was going to pivot to this and to survive, or I didn't have it wasn't a plan B, this was plan A, and that's what I've been executing now, and we're in August, but I've been doing it successfully. I love the collaboration. I love the teamwork. I love being a part of these small businesses teams. I love being a part of their teams. And like I say, it's just a gift that keeps on giving.
I want to jump in and say that on just for the consumer side, it gives a great sense of confidence that when you see other brands mixing with other brands, that gives them confidence as well to say, oh, okay, I didn't even think about this company and this company collaborating and working together. And then it brings awareness to the person and the business all at the same time. So you've got like a 2-for-1. You've got your branding, your marketing, and now you've engaged with a new customer. And for myself, coming from the food and drink industry, I have to admit, and Kyra can testify to this, she's assisted me with this, in the food and drink industry for myself, I'm a loner because my back is turned and I'm cooking or I'm making drinks. And so I've not had the opportunity to communicate successfully with other successful brands, successful people. And that trust issue is there because a lot of the times I didn't know what to say. I would go and probably meet with her and I'm just sitting there like, I have no idea what to say. I have no idea how to communicate. And I'm listening to everything that you guys are saying. And I'm like, wow, I'm so thankful, Dr. Jackson, that you put this together because we're collaborating, but now I have even more confidence to go forth and do more collaboration. I had to tell you, I simply thought working with Tiffany at Safe Ship was going to be just that, shipping. And then when she said, oh no, we can do this, we can do that, without even knowing, she birthed a whole additional market for me that I did not think was available. And when I thought about it, it's just, you have a merchandising cabinet, they can go in, pick up my item, and I don't have to be there. But not just that, the most important thing is at the end of the week, I get a total of, this is how much you did, and here it is. I mean, that's a whole entire different level of trust that you can be on this side of town working and doing what you need to do. And then you get this text like, this is what you did for the week. And here's your, I don't have to worry about, was I cheated? Did this happen? I mean, it brought about a whole different level of confidence for me as a person personally and as a business. And I'm listening to what everyone else is saying. And thank you for this information. Again, this is helping me, but I just wanted to say it brings so much awareness that now other brands that think that they don't fit with another brand, you can come together and figure out a way on how to collaborate. So I want to say thank you for that. And again, thank you to Tiffany.
So tell us this, panel. So if we're a small business owner and we want to collaborate, but we just don't, how do we approach someone about collaborating? Where do we find these people? I know we can go online and look them up, but kind of give some insight for a small business owner who wants to collaborate, but just doesn't know how to approach that person or which direction to go.
I want to say, oh, go ahead, Julie.
I just want to say this real fast for me, because I never want to be wrong, and I never want to be wrong in public. So I'm the one that's creeping in the DMs, sending those little messages saying, look, do you think if I do such and such, am I thinking okay? So what I did was the constant DMs and text messages, and voila, I've got Kyra and Tiffany and those little things. So that worked for me.
Asking those questions, I was just gonna say this. One of the things that I will tell any business owner, I don't care what stage you're in, whether you're in the growth stage or you're in startup, you need to have a plan for your business. And that is going to be what provides you with the roadmap for how and who you need to collaborate with. I always say, number one, I'm a master strategist. So you need to have a strategic plan. You need to know, even in the midst of COVID, what you need. And having having that first gives you the roadmap for you to even understand what you're looking for. Because otherwise you may go fish and come back with something that's not going to serve your business, and then you have conflict because it's not in alignment. And so my recommendation is, first of all, understand what your strategic plan is for your business. Where do you want to go? What do you need? I always talk about the 3 P's: people, process, and profitability. What people do you need? What processes will they help fulfill? And where does that fall in your profitability model? Know what those things are before you approach someone. I will tell you, people are busy, and people are busy trying to keep their businesses moving, and they're trying to keep their energy level high. So if you come in and she's like, yes, as a vampire, and you don't have the right insight around your business, it won't be pretty, it won't be perfect, but just know what you need. Then they can draw you directly to the opportunity. If it's not them, they will align you with someone else. But if you don't have a strategic plan first and know what you need, write the job description for the partner you're looking for. Be specific about what you need. When they show up, you will not have a doubt about that person being the one. They'll line right up, and it'll start to become this easy way for you to stack. I'll tell you, I made my list. I had my 2020 strategic plan lined out, and before 2020 hit, I needed 7 people at or better my skill set in certain disciplines. And it was just like, I'd go to an event and I'd connect, and I'd be like, oh, you're one, go do something else. They would just start falling in line. Why? Because I already knew what I needed, and I already understood how they fit in my business. So I wasn't grabbing for straws and hoping for an opportunity. I was strategic about the process. So I'm going to tell you now, don't waste time, not yours. And obviously don't waste others. Be specific and be strategic. That is, to me, the initial part of the process. And if once you've done that, then someone will not only help you because you have a plan, but they may make that soft and warm connection for you to line you up with them. So that's my initial process.
I have a true public confession to make that Kyra is one of the people on my list. And so I just found her. You don't know it, Kyra, but we're talking after this. Stay tuned. I'm going to be specific. You go toward my profitability and how we keep getting paid. So I look forward to our future 15-minute Zoom date. I think, Julia, I'm a little different than you in terms of, I'm not worried about making mistakes because I feel like I've made all of them. And I'm someone who also like fails spectacularly. And then when I do that, I just like get back up and make myself a smoothie, and like the business is still there, and my team is still here, and like my partner still loves me, and like we keep moving forward. And that's happened enough times that I'm like, okay, so I find that the best way for me has been, I have hit up like as many networking events that are like in my industry or adjacent to my industry. So they might not just be for urban planning and real estate, but maybe they're for construction, maybe they're for architecture, maybe they're for small business, like legal and accounting, maybe they're MWBE, but for bigger firms, because maybe someday I'll be a big firm. I'm 15 people right now, but maybe someday I'll be big, and like 5 people will talk to me about what it was like when they were smaller. And I spent a lot of time like thinking about like, what are my 3 questions? And I don't mind talking and asking lots of people 3 questions. Again, I have my strategic plan too. Like I kind of threw it out the window a little bit with COVID and rewrote it in 10 bullet points. I'm a big fan of like done is better than perfect. So I have my like revised 1-page strategic plan, my 3 things I'm looking for. I'm a big fan of like talking to more people in short periods of time to get feedback and move forward in that kind of way. But I'm with Kyra. I feel like you need to know what the ask is. And then if that person is like, I'm not the right person, say to them, okay, well, who would you ask? Who's the one person you could put me in touch with who would move me in the right direction?
Yeah, and for me, it's about understanding your business, understanding your purpose, understanding what do you have to offer other businesses. What can someone take from me that can take their business up to another level? And I'll just give you an example. I'm at the mall and someone is selling cookies. I want to approach them and like, wouldn't you like for every household in America to have those cookies? Yeah. Wouldn't you like for those cookies to be in homes on the table in New York, California, East Coast? This is what I can do for you. Let's talk about how to get those cookies packaged and get them mailed in the consumer's hands safely. Let's talk about the supply chain. So understanding my business, understanding that I am a mailing solution specialist, understanding what I have to offer, I automatically think of any business, what can I give this business to take what they have now and take it to another level? Okay, and so that's how I approach. And I may see businesses on Facebook or Instagram. I'm like Julia, I may Instagram and say, hey, do you need help? A business said, I only ship items on Mondays and Wednesdays. I inbox them. Why? Why are you only shipping? Well, because I work and I don't have time to do it. Why don't you let someone do product fulfillment for you? Why don't you let your items be mailed out every day? That's what I provide. If your customers order before 2, they get their stuff shipped out the same day. She was blown away. She signed and now we're under contract. Know what you have, understand your business, understand what you bring to the marketplace, and see how you can execute it and bring another business and take it to the next level. Everybody wants their business to go to the next level.
Awesome.
That's huge. I was gonna say, Tiffany, like that was like put me to sleep, because when you can build somebody's dream bigger, you change their life. And it's called capacity. I'm not going to get amped up on it, but I'm going to tell you now.
Go ahead and give us life. We got a few more minutes.
You cannot pay for the joy and the reciprocity and the volume and the increase and the confidence that comes when a business owner knows that their life can change because you've come into it. If you can ship 6 days, 7 days a week versus my 2, my capacity just changed. I can sell faster. I'll create more products. I'll be more innovative. I'll have a stronger pitch when I go to market because I am supported by SafeShip. Like that is the game changer. And when we get to a point where we realize how valuable our collaborations are, I'm gonna tell you now, you'd be hard pressed to find me selling small, because I got 7 strong ones behind me. Not talking about like my tactical team. I'm talking about that can deliver at or better my consultancy skill set, right? Master's degree, preferred in their industry, and they're on my team and I'm on their team. We white label for one another. We're not giving up anything.
Yeah, it's like you can now, instead of a collaboration, you can, hey, I have a business partner. And so that business partner,
all the risk.
Yes. And but trustworthy. That's, when you can say I have a partner, and not only a partner, but I have a partner that's my gender. I have a partner that looks like me. I have a partner that can understand my business challenges as a person, a human person, and as a business. And I like what Rebecca said about she's made all the mistakes. I was so shy and afraid to be in the spotlight and mess up until I was so much harder on myself. Tiffany can probably attest. I'll call and I'll say, oh my gosh, Tiffany, I apologize. I didn't know this or that. And she's like, for what? We're all in this together. So I've learned now that my mistakes are not mistakes. They're learning. They're learning points, and they're growth points. And just right now, learning and growing and hearing what everyone else has to say, just to, put that little warning up there, I will be DMing all of you.
Hey, Julia, I mean, something that I've been thinking about while we're all talking too. I mean, a lot of what I think about being in urban planning is like how we're all going to make it as small businesses.
Yeah.
Okay, how are we going to make it through COVID? How are we going to make it through the recession? I don't know what you all went through with the PPP loan. Like, we got denied in the first round, struggled in the second round. Thank God we found a local credit union that like really helped us with the application. We got it in the second round. But like, I'm watching businesses that we partner with regularly, we team with in New York and in Boston and like up and down the East Coast, like struggling right now. And like, I think we're all looking to see what the federal government is going to do. Like all the barriers that MWB business owners had before COVID, right? Like challenges getting loans and access to capital and challenges getting contracts, that is all so much harder now. And so this is one of the first times, I'm going to cry. This is like one of the first times in months that I have felt optimistic, because I'm sitting here listening to these like powerhouse business owners talking about how we're going to be doing business together and with each other, and like support each other and find ways to make each other's businesses stronger and support other businesses in our markets. Like that's the power of collaboration. Like in a time where there aren't going to be as many projects and there isn't going to be the relief and contracts coming from federal government, like this business to business support and advisory and consultation, like this is where the money is. And like to use your point, Kyra, on profitability, like this is about businesses getting paid and how we create community wealth for our businesses and for our communities and for our families. And like, this has been one of the most powerful conversations that I've had the privilege of being part of like in months. And like, I'm so excited. I'm like so excited right now. Like, do I need to move to Houston? Because I haven't been part of one of these conversations in New York City. Like,
Rebecca, you can move in with me, and I know how to cook really well. And make great smoothies.
And I think you really, you summed that up very well, Rebecca. And so now I just kind of want to move into questions from our attendees. We're getting them. And Lael, a question is, where do we find the primes in order to collaborate with primes? So can you kind of touch on that?
So it's a little bit tougher since we're in this virtual environment, but we're still available to make those connections for you. So that's what I'm here for. So if you are looking to do work with us and you are a part of have already gone through our pre-qualification with Melissa, and I'll actually put her, I can't type and talk, but when I stop talking, I'll put her email address in here, and that is where you get pre-qualified. And so we want you to do that. And so you can get on the list to find out what we're going to be working on and where you fit in. And you may be able to look at that and say, oh, I can come out bigger if I get with Kyra and Tiffany and do this. That would be great. And I actually have Raylena, I'm calling her out, I'm so sorry, Raylena Browning on the call who's joined us, which shows her commitment. But she is our director of pre-construction. And we're sitting here on the little Skype internal texting back and forth, and she's like, I would love for a group of MWBEs or to get together and collaborate. So that is something that we would absolutely support. And for me, I'm all about those numbers. So you're going to help us get to the percentage, and all the money is green. So whether it goes to you as an individual or you can get it together as a group, then get it, go after it and get it. And we would support you completely.
We have a question from Robert Hines. You want to go ahead and I tried to unmute you.
Yes.
There we go.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. First of all, let me say this is absolutely the best panel I've seen this week. Not only are you
Got a lot of traffic.
I love the conversation. One thing I wanted to suggest, just in an effort to add additional value to expanding the network, is, we can't underestimate the importance of using COIs in our circle. Banker, CPA, an attorney, insurance agent, all those populations are after the same thing. We're literally fishing out of the same pond. And you should demand that specifically from your banker, because I'm going to speak from that perspective. We have some of the greatest resources within, and most people just see us as a transactional institution. The reality is we have clients in our circle that should be your clients. We have CPAs that we work with that should be aligned with your business. And again, the same thing with attorneys and those that handle risk mitigation. So always keep in mind that professional network already exists. It's just a matter of asking for what you want from them. So, Rebecca, I hear you on the PPP issues. I mean, we did over 250,000 and issued over 31 billion. So we were thankful that we were able to help that many businesses. But we also know the reality is we missed a few. because it was a very aggressive process for so many, and quite honestly, a lot of people just didn't understand. But yeah, forgive your banker and go back to them, and now ask them for more. Okay, but again, great discussion. I'm so glad to have an opportunity to at least experience this with you ladies. Thank you.
Thank you,
Question for
Robert.
Robert. Can I ask what banking institution or financial organization is he representing?
I'm with JP Morgan Chase.
Thank you.
Sure.
And then we have another question. This is for Tiffany or any. Which of you can promote new products? So this is from Mac. Mac, you want to expand on your question and how that relates to collaboration? Mac?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Well, oftentimes, we always talk about existing businesses and, services we provide. Some of us also have new products that we develop and looking for people who have a better expertise in actually taking this to the consumer or the end user. We're not all equal in our capabilities. Some know how to, build new things, like the young lady there that does the natural food, the smoothies or something like that. Now having somebody who knows how to ship it. So with that kind of collaboration, you just find a better life and focusing on what you do best, and let the others, do what they do best. I do have some products here that I could work on because I have an engineering background, a chemical engineering background. I could develop a lot of things. But I need somebody else that wears their hat, that could possibly look at these things and take them from the production table to the distribution level. That's pretty much what I'm talking about.
One of the things that I did, Matt, with Tiffany is Tiffany had a very good understanding of my product, and because she was once, a very major client of mine. And so she already had a really good understanding of our product. But then we went in even further and we had an information sheet of what we sell, how much we sell it for, the benefits. And then I do something else. I want everyone to try what I have to offer. Whether you want it or not, I'm gonna offer it to you as a sample or make you take it so you can try it, so you can just have a better understanding of what I do, why I do it, and why I love what I love. And so in return, when I've gotten phone calls or text messages where people have said, "Is that your sister at the Safe Ship?" And I said, "Who?" And they said, "Tiffany." I said, "No, Tiffany, she's a collaborator. We're business partners." And they were like, "She sold you up. I thought you were paying her to be your cheerleader. She was telling us the benefits of this and that." So not only with collaborations and business partners, very important that they know what you have to offer, that you like each other, and that you make each other feel comfortable enough to where they feel like, I'm the owner of Safe Ship. She's the owner of the Juju products. That's how it should be. So I know sometimes people frown upon a business and a personal relationship, but I make it my business to have a personal relationship with the collaborator first, because I want them to understand me as a person, then get to know me as a business, and you collaborate those two, it's a win-win situation. I don't have to worry about anything going wrong with my product. I don't have to worry about any complaints. I don't have to worry about any misunderstandings, because that's who Tiffany is. But we develop that relationship, the little late night texts, early morning DMs, things like that. So I would say get to know your person that you are going to collaborate with. Send them your products on you. Send it to them. Call them and say, "Hey, did you like it? You know, Portia can attest to that. Dr. Jackson can attest to that. Kyra, the rest of you, just give me a minute. I'll find out how to get it to you, and I'll stalk you and things like that. But I think it's important when you have a product or a service, let them know who you are as a person behind that product and service, and then move with your collaboration.
Perfect, perfect. So we have 1 minute left in our hour. So I just want to, I know it goes fast. It was so much information being shared, and I love the dialogue that we had going on. And so I just want to give this small business collaboration webinar cohort. I just want to give, who wants to speak and sum up this webinar for us and have the last words?
Well, I will say that, you know, relationships are so important in life. It's the song that we had at church, and the end of it says, you know, I need you, you need me, we need each other to survive. And I said that. And if we can just grasp that in all areas of our life, especially in business. I don't know of one business, you know, I think about Amazon and what that owner, Mr. Bezos, how much of Amazon does he actually own? Only 12% on stock. He has so many collaborators, so many people that he don't claim to be the expert at everything. But if you surround yourself with a team, if you surround yourself with people, you don't want to be the smartest in the room. You want to always have a ceiling. You want to have other people who know more than you in different fields. And that's what Mr. Mack was talking about. His lane, he has products, but then he wants somebody else in the lane as far as can take it to the next level. Please send us an email at sugarland@safeship.com, Mr. Mack. I'll make sure I help you. Be ready to do those things. Like I say, hone in on what you know how to do, perfect that craft, and then give it out to everybody else so that they can take their business to the next level. And if you focus not on you, but if you focus on your teammates, you're going to win if they're winning. Okay, you're going to win if it's not all about you. If you take the focus off you and put it on your teammates and invest just as much time in someone else's business as your own, I promise you the wins will come.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So again, thank you everyone for attending. Thank you to our panelists for all the information you shared. I just want to let everyone know the Access Granted webinar series. We have another one coming up on August 27th, and we are going to be talking about the City of Houston's Small Business Relief Program. So anyone who is in need of funding and has questions about that grant, that information is going to be shared, and we're going to talk about that on the 27th. So again, thank you to our panelists, and thank you for everyone attending, and you all have a marvelous rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.